Hey everyone, Galveston area WX here, and I'm bored today, so I'm going to be taking apart my md319. So first we're going to start with taking out these batteries. Don't want to perform any open surgeries, well, await surgeries on my md319, because I think that'd be pretty painful for it, wouldn't it? So, to start, you take off these little pads, these sticky pads that keep the radio from just skidding about like that. And then, well, just gonna take off these pads first. Alright. Then you're gonna take your Phillips head and then unscrew the md319. I still don't have a tripod, by the way. You know, I should not be doing videos where I take apart radios without a tripod because it just looks horrible. So, yeah. Keep a tray somewhere. We're just gonna use the battery tray. But keep a tray somewhere to keep your screws so you don't lose them. I've lost many screws in the past doing this. So now that you took one screw out, just do the same for the rest so you can get the back off. And it's actually not that scary on the inside. Not much can be broken besides that one ribbon cable. There's like one ribbon cable in there, which I'm absolutely freaking scared of breaking. You know what? I'm just gonna pause this as I try and take these screws out. Okay, I got the screws out. And one thing that I do not like about people like opening up radios and repairing them and stuff is that they always have their camera like super far away so you can barely see what they're doing. That's not hating, by the way. I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but yeah. So I just want to give you that experience. For whatever reason, these batteries and the speaker are like connected with these. I forgot what these are called. I'm just gonna call them pins because they pretty much are pins. I need to put this camera down as I take it out. Okay. So now that that's out of the way, I can just move that on top of my Radio Shack. It doesn't matter. It doesn't care, I mean. Maybe it does care. Okay, yeah, it does care. This is the ribbon cable I was talking about right here. I don't want to touch it because I don't want to break it. I've already broken a ribbon cable before when I was doing something with another radio. And I had to replace it. It was with my WR300. It scared me so freaking bad. Oh. Anyway, yeah. Here's the main motherboard right here. Contains the buttons. It's not like the WR120 where it's like these weird pink pads and then it's the screen. The screen's just attached to the board itself. This is the antenna, which I'm pretty sure you guys could tell. I mean, the white wire connecting to this tuner circuit and then the actual antenna out here. So why don't we go get a closer look on the antenna? So my hands are so shaky. I don't think it's a good idea for me to be taking apart radios when my hands are shaky, but I don't really care right now because I don't think I'm gonna break it. That just might be the reason my stuff broke earlier. Okay, so here's the antenna screw thingy. Yeah. By the way, never get your screws mixed up because that's just not a good time. Whenever you get your screws mixed up, nope, it's absolutely awful. So this entire foam padding is for the ribbon cable itself. Crazy, right? I actually wasn't expecting for there to be a ribbon cable, but yeah. Given this carrying power, I would imagine so. Okay, so here's the antenna. Don't know if it's dangerous to hold like this part or if like it's toxic. I wouldn't imagine it is. We can make it look like a wand. Never mind my Mario pajamas. Yeah. Wingardium Leviosa. Oh my gosh, I'm a wizard. That was kind of cringe. Okay, here's the antenna. We're just gonna set that right here next to these LEDs. And then you can see we have the actual antenna, like the inside of the antenna. I wonder what would happen if I just got like a super long wire and fed it out there and just like, I don't know, put it next to the window or something. I'd probably have to get like 72 inches of this because that is a complete full wavelength, which I think 72 inches is 6 feet. And the full wavelength of this VHF frequency is 6 feet. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so if we want to take out the speaker, we're gonna also take out, well, not the speaker. If we want to take out this tuning circuit and power circuit, we're gonna have to take out this speaker. Just leave that down here. That looked incredibly wrong. I won't be doing that again. Okay, so it's literally just held up by these two screws holding this back plate here, and then one additional screw so it doesn't fall out of place immediately upon opening. Gonna have to put this down because this screw is incredibly tight. Okay. Got the screw out. Oh, getting it out. Can just twist it and pull it out now. Maybe I can't. Am I touching that ribbon cable? I am. Okay. That's supposed to be on the tray. You know, I'll just put it on this foam. So now, I'm going to be very careful with this and take it out of its socket and then reveal its circuit board. Yeah, so this is literally just the power and sound adapter. Of course, the tuner as well. That's what gives this power, which we'll get to the main motherboard later. Well, not later. So this, I don't know how many volts this is. I'll have to look. I can look now if I wanted to. Maybe I can't see that. I can lift it up maybe. I'll do that. Unless it's glued to the bottom, which it is glued to the bottom. Okay, this is a 25 volt cap. Not sure why they're using 25. This might look like 52, but it's 25 because you flip it over with the right side up. Yeah, you'll see it's 25. Also, I don't think it would make sense to have a 52 volt cap on here. I mean, it's a small tuner. You know what? Maybe I could be stand corrected. I don't know how I want to take out this motherboard as well. I might have to put this camera down and then take it out myself as well. Well, yeah, duh, because I'm by myself, crazy. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, this next step is really simple. This motherboard is also being held by the interior screws, but it's also being held by 4 additional screws, which unscrew like so. These screws I'll be putting on this tray, on this back tray. It's not even a tray at this point. It's just I don't know, a bottom. Yeah, literally. I'll be putting the screws there so I don't get them lost. Again, you never want to have your screws lost. And this next part is exactly as to why you cannot mod your WR. This is exactly as to why you cannot mod your md319. Because the LEDs are literally soldered to the board. And unless you want to go to PCBWay and copy this exact board and LCD, you cannot modify this, which I don't think it's worth the money to go to PCBWay and do all that. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on PCBWay at all. I mean, I just don't think it's, like, worth it to completely get a new one of these. Unless you really want to, which I'm not going to stop you if you actually do try and get one. But yeah. Never used PCBWay, I just know about it. Oh, come on, please. These screws, they need to stop stacking to my freaking screwdriver. Yes, stacking. So now that we got this antenna out, and we got this power, audio, and tuner board out, we can now get the motherboard out. Which I thought that the buttons were gonna be like super
Hey, monkey, charge me.
Oh, don't mind that. That's so... Okay, so the video had to cut out for whatever reason, but that's fine. Back to where I was earlier. I thought these buttons were gonna be incredibly flimsy and stuff. No, they're actually pretty strong. So if I can take this out with one hand, You know, I'll just put you down and take it out. Because I'm guessing my md319 doesn't like me using with just one hand. Okay, now that I got this out, I can take out the entire board. Yay. I'll leave this face down and then I'll move this. So, okay. So here's what it looks like. And you might be wondering, oh, like where are the warning, watch, and warning and advisory LEDs? I have to fix my fingers real quick. Okay. So the reason they're not modelable is because they literally soldered on top of the screen. And of course, here's the screen. Hi, md319 screen. Here are some buttons, which these 5 buttons, no, these 4 buttons, those are used for the weather button on the bottom, which I could just take out right now if you wanted to. I'll just put that aside. I could just take out these buttons if I wanted to, which I think I might. Hey, there we go. So you have an entire md319 interface. Crazy, right? I kind of think it looks funny just flapping these buttons around. Flappy flappers. But if we just flip this around now, it just looks like an empty husk, because that's exactly what it is. It's my favorite type of md319, the empty husk 19. So if you were given these parts, what would you do? Put the radio back? Heck yeah. Okay, now that these buttons are back in, you can flip it over. I'm like, oh, the buttons, they're back. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can do. You can also take off this. You can take off the speaker and replace it with another one if you wanted to. I think the speaker here is okay. I mean, it has like a slight bit of distortion with the audio. Makes everything like in the specifically mid-range of the EQ filter, which I'll put on here because yeah, it's easier to visualize. The mid-section of that is like kind of warped upwards with that speaker instead of just being flat. So I might replace that speaker with like an amplifier. You know what? No, I won't replace the speaker. I'll just like cut off something here. Put like a module, like an EQ module here that requires the same voltage as the md319, doesn't draw too much. Then I'll plug it back into the circuit and then probably the speaker will be better. So yeah, since there's since there's so much empty room inside of here, I think that's exactly what I'll do. But before I get to that, I'm gonna put these 2 circuit boards back in. Yeah. Let me just go ahead and pause for that. Okay, now that these are back in, we can just screw everything back. So this, I'm just gonna screw in the easier ones first, which is going to be this screw right here, which holds the actual module, not the module, the board. I keep calling everything a module, even though it's not a module. It's not even modular, crazy, right? Okay, turns out I'm the dumbest person alive. This was the tuner screw, and I was trying to put the tuner screw where this held up. You see, I'm so smart, guys. You know, you should recommend me for like a lot of, no, I'm kidding, don't. Just gonna put the camera down once again and annoy y'all because I keep putting you to a black screen while I do stuff. Gonna do that as I screw in this motherboard screw, which is incredibly small. By the way, if you're working over carpet like I am, if you drop a screw, you're pretty much cooked. You're done. Just like entirely leave if you just drop a screw. I'm kidding. Don't leave. Try and find the screw. Because if you don't try and find the screw, you're screwed. Oh, it's so funny. It's a knee slapper. I'm laughing so hard. Okay. Got these 2 screws in. Let's see if I can do one of these on camera. Mr. Chief, face the camera.
Mr. Chief, face the camera.
Okay. I'm gonna do the one behind the motherboard. Give you a nice camera POV, and then you just screw in. I know it's wild. Alright, and then we'll do that last screw. Okay. So look at the camera for a second whenever I actually do this. Okay, so here is that last screw for the motherboard. So now everything is screwed in. If you flip it over, nothing's gonna fall out. Well, besides these wires, but that's fine. But as you can see, you can now press it, and it slides around a whole bunch. But if you wanted to, you could just power it on now if you wanted to. But I won't do that because I don't want my md319 to feel pain as I'm powering it on. So just plug your speaker circuit back in. By the way, the polarity does not matter if you're plugging in a speaker. Unless it has like some sort of diode circuit on it, where like unless it has an amplifier or something like that on the speaker circuit, then yes, the polarity does matter. But if it's just the speaker directly into the audio drive, I don't think it matters. It just reverses the, inverts the speaker thingy, which doesn't audibly sound different at all. I wish I could explain in better detail, but that's all I can give you. Because I am not about to go on a complete deep dive of how speakers work or something like that. Because I think I'll waste too much time. Well, not waste, it'll take too much time. Okay, I'm gonna put this down for this part because I don't want to do this on camera. Mr. Chief, face the camera. I can never stop quoting that anymore, I'm guessing.
Mr. Chief, face the camera.
Okay. So this part is weird. You have to put the antenna under the ribbon cable, and then you have to poke it out of the radio. And then you see this little screw right here next to that. That is where the antenna goes. And then you put it above that screw hole like so, and then you just screw it. There we go. It's starting to look like it was already brand new. Crazy. And then the last thing to do is to connect your battery circuit and not get these pads stuck prematurely. There we go. The last thing to do is connect your battery circuit to the right polarity. And the way you'll know is you'll see a positive right here, if it'll focus. Focus, come on. Come on, camera, Nate can do it. Maybe it can't focus. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna give it up focusing. So on this side, it's gonna say BAT plus, and then this other side is gonna say BAT minus. And the plus is usually the red wire, almost in all applications is the red wire. And then the minus or negative is the black wire. Almost every time, the negative will be the black wire. People also refer to that as ground when you're talking about DC, but when you're talking about AC, ground will always be your green or green wire. Yeah, it'll always be your green wire. I sound like a freaking tutorial here. So then, now just like, make sure these wires don't like squish anything. These battery circuit wires might be a bit iffy, but just kind of put the backplate on and then it just like fixes itself for whatever reason. I took this apart like twice yesterday, so I know. Okay, now that you're pretty much almost done putting the radio back in, back on, just put these screws inside the screw holes to make your life easier, and then screw everything in. Just gonna take some time to do that because I'm incredibly slow with doing this stuff. There we go. Now make sure not to screw your screws in too hard because you could accidentally strip the screw like I think I just did. Crap. Okay, I didn't just strip the screw. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, Squirtle. So there are two types of stripping your screws. The first one is whenever you strip the screw head, whenever this part doesn't fit on the screw and the screw no longer turns with it. That's annoying. I had that problem with my WR100. I need to get an extractor for it. And then the second type is whenever you strip the threading of the screw, where if you screw it in too hard, the threading kind of just decides it's gonna go bye-bye, and then it no longer screws in properly. And that happens a lot whenever you forcefully screw something in, so make sure not to do that. I'm just gonna go to 0.5 view because I have my phone very close to the md319. Shut up, Duolingo. Not about to do another freaking lesson. One. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. My math is not mathing. Okay, and then now that you have this fourth screw in, put these pads back on. It doesn't matter which pad goes where, as long as the pad is just on the hole. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter the order of the pad you put it, as you could probably guess. And then just kind of stick it on there. So it no longer Tokyo drifts along your desk or wherever you have it. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't like radios just kind of Tokyo drifting across the desk whenever I try pressing a button. And then I'm just gonna get off my hand. Then stick this last piece of stickiness, and then boom, you just completely rebuilt your radio after taking it apart. Put your batteries in, and you'll see it. Put your batteries in, and you'll see that it completely starts again. Version 2. This one's by md319, by the way. By the way, whenever you take out the batteries and stuff, and you like completely take out the radio, it for whatever reason resets the radio. It doesn't actually, never mind. That's just what happens whenever you take the power. But yeah, I do not like these button beeps on here. I thought I did whenever I was when I first got the radio, but I don't. Siren test. I already have everything for user, I believe. We'll just speed through this. Okay, that's not that effective, actually. Okay, yeah, everything here is turned on. County code is all. Warrior channel is on 1. I'm just gonna like put this antenna back. Actually, no, I'm just gonna take it out. It's trying. My desk sucks for getting reception on this. There we go. And then I'll set up my time, which the current time is 11:02. Not PM, AM. And then the current date is not the 1st of January of 2022. It is the 20th of December. Christmas is in 5 days. Can you believe that? I know, it's crazy. Don't need the alarm, but yeah. You just completely took apart and completely rebuilt your md319. Are you proud of yourself? Well, you better be. Because, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.